Howdy and welcome. I'm E.H. Howard, and this is Sell the Experience on Patreon. On the surface, and I'm not saying they don't use it, they certainly do, is this idea and concept that comes across as big business thinking, something for big business. Only big businesses can use it because it's really what they're about. And really, it should be a tool for small businesses, small home and solopreneur businesses. More than big business, this is something that you really need to focus on, you really need to pay attention to, that you really need to hone in on, okay? And it's the idea of demographics and your ideal market, all right? In the past, when I've talked to small home and solopreneur businesses, and I mentioned the idea of an ideal market, a target market, who's your demographic, who's your core consumer, those types of things. The reaction that I usually get is, oh, that's not for me, that's big business. You know, like that's big business does that. That's not me. I'm a small business. And the funny part is they then go on to describe their core market, their core demographic to me. And so I'm like, hey, that's exactly what I'm talking about. And what really is, and why it's really important for small home and solopreneur businesses, is we can't play that numbers game. All right, you can't play that game of number where, you know, hey, I'm going to market to 10,000 people in hopes of getting, you know, maybe 50 new clients. All right. If you're a small home or solopreneur business, and by small business, I mean less than 50 people in your business. Like, we're talking super small mom and pop kind of store. You know, if you're a home business, it's probably you and maybe your spouse or kids. If you're a solopreneur, it is you. It's all you, right? Like, you've got no help. And you barely have time to get through the work in a day. You barely have time to get it from A to B and keep the lights on, let alone spend hours marketing and selling to thousands of people on a constant and regular basis in hopes that eventually you will connect with a handful that will then convert over and be consumers. And there's a video on Everyone which goes with this, why you shouldn't be selling and marketing to everyone, why it doesn't work for small businesses, the whole process of it. We barely have time to get done what we need to get done in a 14-hour day, 12-hour day. You know, like, I wouldn't know what an 8-hour day was like. Beyond going and then marketing and saying, which is one of the reasons that we there's a couple of reasons. There's one of the reasons that we tend to gravitate towards networking, we tend to gravitate towards social media, and we tend to gravitate towards word of mouth marketing. And those are all connected to this idea of demographics and a core consumer, a core market, all right? And you hear me say this all the time, I'm constantly harping on this, is if you can't explain the experience, aka what your business does for a consumer, why it's right for them, why it's ideal for them, and how it can benefit them, I don't care how many hours you're on social media. I don't care how many networking events you go to. I don't care how many people you try to get a referral from. You are never going to get the consumers that you want because you are not describing them in a way that engages those consumers, all right? Now, in the previous video, we looked at who we are as a business. We started getting in touch with those ideas of, you know, this is the experience that I offer. This is why I'm unique. This is why I'm special. And now we're going to start honing down who it's for, all right? And like I said at the beginning of this, everybody has a general idea of who their core consumer is. They have a general idea of who their ideal market is. They have a general idea of the demographic that they assist, but they don't really get into a lot of detail. It's very cursory, you know. We work with seniors to help them get loans. I repair cars. I work with families who are trying to get their kids into college. You know, all this, it's a very generic, very surface description. And much like some of the other things like we're going to talk about with expectations and talks about with sales and marketing and all of those things, in the workspace attached to this unit, there is part of the workspace is a demographics sheet. And it kind of looks like something like this. You can kind of see it. And it covers the 4 current major purchasing demographics. And the thing with it, again, with demographics is this is a sliding scale. All right. So as people get older, there are ages in here, but know that, I probably should have put years, but know that it's a sliding scale. All right. So the list covers things like boomers, Gen X, millennials, and Gen Z. And I fall into the Gen X category. I know this makes you think I should be a boomer, but I am not as old as I look. All right. So, for example, like one of the things that's great about these things is, and again, it is not scientific. It is not. It's not applicable to everyone. It is just a sort of framework, a guide for you to kind of just really help you to start to understand the community, the neighborhood that your core consumer lives in, so that you can explain it better to networking partners on social media, however you need to explain it. All right. And so again, these are behaviors that, and I'm almost positive, again, I have no scientific data on this. I have no, I don't think I've ever Googled it, but I guess I could have, is I feel like these buying habits and behaviors are somewhere formed in our mid to late teens to mid 20s, late 20s, okay? I think once we get over 30, then we're too ingrained. In most cases, I'm not saying every case, in most cases, we are, because there are a lot of TikTok grandparents. And there shouldn't be. When we get to like 30, we're kind of stuck with the buying habits that we have, with the buying behaviors that we have, the software, the things that we like to do, and we are a little less reticent to embrace new stuff, all right? And again, I don't have any scientific evidence. That's just my general thinking on things. And so, for example, and I'm sure as we're looking at this, I'm sure you'll go through this list and you'll think, yeah, this is exactly me. This is exactly my consumers, all of that stuff. And so I fall into the Gen X community. I am technically I'm like the last ended boomer that you can possibly be. There were days left on boomer, and so I'm, because of my growing up in the same Gen X generation, my behaviors, habits, and those things are more Gen X when I'm technically on the line for boomer. All right. So yeah, so maybe the white is appropriate. All right. So for example, Gen Xers, email, we love email because that's what we grew up on. We like to spend time at warehouse retailers like Costco and Sam's Club. We're skeptical of marketing and marketing tactics. We do not trust advertising. All right. Looking for different and unique products and services. They research intensely before they purchase. Any doubts about a product will kill the sale. They prefer facts over emotions and figures. High expectations on value and superior service. Expect their loyalty to be rewarded. And they are bargain hunters. Okay? And so from that, there is a lot you can tell about a certain demographic, all right? And again, your core consumer is going to be someone that lives in the community of this demographic, all right? So, and within that community aren't just one of your core consumers, there are multiple, and they know other people, like-minded people just like them, who will probably like and want and use your services. And the big one, and one of the reasons I started all of this Sell the Experience stuff is this number one behavior that I have, and the thing that used to just drive me crazy when I was in industry is we expect loyalty to be rewarded. And by that I mean, I'm not looking for a lot from a business. I'm not looking for, like constant discounts or coupons or any of those things. I'm not looking for any of that. What I'm looking for is every once in a while, throw me a bone. Okay. I want to know that you know I exist and that you value and appreciate me spending my money with you. Now, maybe that's a thank you card after you do a project with them. Maybe it's you give them, a cup at Christmas, whatever it is. And that's again where promotional items come in really well. That's a great thing for promotional items. And again, back to the thing what used to drive me crazy about industry was we never focused inward. We never appreciated the people that we had, except for things like, oh, Christmas is coming up, so we've got to send out calendars to people, or we've got to... Yeah, that makes them feel special. Like everybody and their brother suddenly remembers who they are at Christmas, and we're going to just jump on that bandwagon. I'm of the other mind. I'm like, if you are going to spend money with me, if you are going to give me time and money and purchase the things that I want to give to you, then I am going to return that with deep loyalty. I am going to focus a lot of my time on energy on showing you how much I appreciate that. So if you really want to get to Gen Xers, and we are, it's like 55, 56 to early 40s. All right. So, I would even say like maybe 40 to 60. That's a big demographic. That is a huge buying demographic right now. If you want to tap into that demographic, if you want them to purchase from you, you need to be loyal to them. You need to give back to them. You need to show them some love and appreciation. And again, that's where Sell the Experience comes in. That's where promotional all of the stuff that I'm talking about came from that idea is I want to be valued. I want to be appreciated. All right. So the next thing is email is our jam. So millennials, on the other hand, is social media. And boomers prefer face-to-face. All right. So if I am going to try and create a marketing campaign, or if I'm going to try and engage more consumers, and again, we're going to be talking, we're going to pretend for a moment that we're still in this everybody mindset. If I'm going to appeal and try and grow my business by appealing to everyone, that means I'm going to need to appeal to the boomers, I'm going to need to appeal to the Gen X, and I'm going to need to appeal to the millennials. One prefers face-to-face only, one prefers email, one prefers social media. All right? There is not one size that fits all that hits everything that those people will do. All right? If you come to me as a Gen Xer and try to just initiate a face-to-face, I'm probably going to rebuff you. I want an email first. I want to know, I want to be aware before you come to me. That's how I engage. That's how a lot of people my age engage. If I was going to try and engage with a boomer, and again, the weird thing about my Gen X's and millennials is we are not phone people. We are people that, if somebody's at the door, I don't answer it. I don't know who that is. They can go away. I got to ring. If it's not anybody I know, boom, you're out of here. Same thing with millennials. So, walking around knocking door to door, you're not going to get much traction. Sending a millennial an email, it's just going to get ignored. Sending me messages on Facebook or sending me messages on, Twitter or any of this will probably get ignored because I'm always on email. That's how I communicate with people. Either that or text message. If you're really important, text me. I do a lot of work by text. And for me, those are the comfortable things. And there's a lot of people in my generation that are like that. All right. So that's where the demographics come in. And that's kind of where I wanted to really emphasize things is the way to grow your business is we're going to, grow within our community. Okay, so we've got our core consumer. We're going to look inside the community that they're in, talk to them about all the other people that they know and they like, show them some appreciation so they're going to have an interest, a desire to go out. If you show your current consumers some love, they're going to really feel invested in your business then. They are going to feel like yeah, I'm going to really go out and talk about this business because I feel like, I spend my money there, it's valued and it's appreciated. And they're going to tell the people that have those same ideas. And so we have this whole community, this whole ideal market and demographic from which to start drawing even more consumers, all right? And the nice part is within that demographic, we know these behaviors, we know how to engage with these consumers, and that just makes it easier. We can cut through a lot of the noise, we can cut through a lot of the clutter, we can get to the people that we need to get to, and then very quickly start doing more of the things that we need to do. And if we focus on our demographics, and if we really kind of talk about how we're going to get to these people in ways that will appeal and attract to them, then we've cut our time as far as marketing and sales by like half. That's kind of where this is all going, is it's kind of making sure that you know who you're talking to, how you're talking to them. And again, it will allow you to teach and educate people on who's your ideal market, who's your ideal consumer, how to talk to them more effectively, all of those things, so that you get the quality referrals, the high quality referrals that you want, you need, and desire, that you get the return on investment on your marketing and sales that you want, and that when all of your consumers are out talking about you, they are selling you in the right way. They're selling you ways that connect with people, that bring in the right referrals for you. As I said, in the workspace, there is a list of demographics. There's four of them: Boomer, Gen X, Millennial, Gen Z, and there's some basic descriptions under there of behaviors and habits and traits, things that will engage with them and things. All right, which leads me to this week's Blue Sky Thinking Project. All right, so as usual with these things, the idea is to sort of break you out of your thinking processes, break you out of sort of the marketing and sales fog that you may be in, and kind of helping you think about your business and who your business is for, the experience that you offer them in a different way. All right. And this week's is, and if you want to, this is all part of the brainstorming thing. So we're going to set some timers for these, and we're going to do some brainstorming. I'm going to let you choose whichever brainstorming method that you want to use. I prefer, for these types of exercises, I prefer the timed brainstorming. I should say blue sky thinking and creative thinking exercises that you want to use. I tend to go for brainstorming, mainly because the idea of having a crunch of time and being forced to kind of go from the gut works for me. But there is a section on brainstorming, a unit on brainstorming if you need to. Or blue sky thinking. I need to stop calling it blue sky thinking. All right. So in this one, we're going to set 3 different timers. All right. And it's going to require you to look over the demographic sheet, not just glance at it. Don't just kind of like look at it and put it off. But to really look at it, kind of really digest it. I also want you, as you're going through it, and again, I don't want you to name names. I don't want you to this is not the blame game, but I want you to start thinking about, oh, yeah, this is something that my consumers engage in. This is something that my consumers do. Yes, my consumers do not like getting email. Those start, and you can start seeing where you will see some of these things pop up in your business. All right, so back to our Blue Sky Challenge. But this one's going to be a little different. It's a little bit different. It's a little bit kind of self-assessing. You're going to have to be kind of honest with yourself, but you can also couch it in one of the different ways that you're going to look at it. All right, so it's my long way of saying, and I have a lot of long ways of getting to things, is a documentarian has come to your town, whatever town you live in. They came there to film a documentary on small home and solopreneur businesses, all right? And they want to interview you. They think you got what they need to help make this documentary awesome, all right? And as they come and talk to you, one of the things that they want to do is they also want to get some more information on you. That what you have is great. You kind of gave them your little sales pitch. You kind of got them excited. but they want to talk to some consumers. They really want to hear from the horse's mouth what it is about your business and why they like it. All right. And again, looking at the list of demographics and behaviors and traits and things, not all of your clients are going to fall into those areas, but you're going to have some clients that go across each of them. All right. So I want you to set a timer for 2 minutes. All right. First timer for 2 minutes. And in that time, I want you to brainstorm, mind map, free associate, assumption reversal, however you want to do it. I want you to brainstorm, or tell me everything that a boomer would say works about your business. Okay. So if we went and talked to a typical consumer who fell into the boomer demographic for your business, what would they say about the experience? How would they talk about you to the documentarian? Would they say, how would they describe what you do, how you help them? Everything that you can think of that they would talk about you, all right? And then I want you to go back and do it for Gen X, and I want you to do it for a millennial, all right? 2 minutes for each, so we're talking a total of 5 minutes, all right? And the idea here is it's not going to be accurate, it's not scientific, we're not talking anything of that. We're going from our gut, we're going from what we think people will say. And just try and do the best you can, come up with some ideas. The demographic that is closest to you, that's closest to your core consumer, your core ideal market, will be the consumer that you'll be able to write the most about, all right? But again, we do still want to appeal to a number of people, so we kind of want to make sure. And again, there's no reason when we grow our business, there's a number of ways we can grow it, but one of it is maybe starting to appeal to different demographics, all right? So again, could we grab a couple of, maybe boomer isn't our ideal market, our ideal consumer, but there are some within that pool who might be, and let's grab them in. Same thing with millennial. Okay, so it's easier to grab them in if they know who we are, right? Easier to do that than go out and keep finding 1,000,001 strangers. All right, so I would love to hear what you have to say, so make sure you put some comments below, write your answers down and post them. I'd love to hear them. I can be happy to give you some input and feedback if you want it. If you have any questions on how to do the challenge, put them below and I will be more than happy to answer them. In the next video, there's a couple other videos along with this unit this week. We'll be talking about expectations, setting expectations. We'll talk a little bit more about consumer behaviors and those types of things. And next week, we're going to get really into the 3 types of consumers and who they are, why you need them, why they're super important, and really start to put together our experience, our demographic, and all of this together to get one big whole that's going to start leading us into other things. If you're curious about what's coming up next and sort of where the process is in all of this, search through the site and you will find a schedule. I think it's through till September of each area of unit of discussion, what's going to be falling underneath them, what you get and why you get it, and those types of things. So definitely download that if you want. It may change over time, and if it does, the only way it will change is if I add more stuff. So that's not a bad thing. I'm not going to take anything away, but I may be adding more content here and there, so I may have to update it. And then there's going to be other things like Q&A sessions at the end of the week and stuff. All right, so that's enough of me rambling. I will see you in the next video, which is consumers. All right, bye.